SDK.finance. In the SDK.finance application, there is a module Gate and Gate Endpoint where the REST controller is located, handling external operations, top-up and withdrawal controller. There are methods to execute this operation such as gate methods to get payment methods, to obtain the list of available providers, and the services which this provider offers to serve this operation. According to the type, it could be a top-up or withdrawal operation. Next, before executing the operation, the user should calculate the commission amount for this operation. Third step, create a gate transaction. It's an internal transaction with information about the operation. The provider is assigned to this transaction. Next, according to this created transaction, a user should fill the list of data, and that's why there is a special endpoint which provides the list of required pair fields before submitting this operation and initiating it on the payment provider side. The next step is submit. After creation and obtaining the list of pair fields, the user fills all these pair fields and submits the operation. Inbound from this operation, the transaction is initiated on the gate provider side and requires a response. The gate provider returns the redirect URL. This URL returns to the user, and the user opens the form where the user should type the card data to pay for this operation. The next step is to get the state of the gate transaction by its ID or get a list of the transactions. It's an endpoint with filter and sorting features. Also, after typing and submitting the card data by the user, the system waits for a callback. There is a special HTTP servlet callback endpoint which handles these callbacks from the provider. The callback is set up on the init step. The structure of this callback includes the host of the application, next the type of handle, it's a callback, next it's the name of the provider. In our case, we will observe the work of the Corefy provider and some parameters, like TXID of the transaction, in this class. First of all, we extract the gate manager name from the request. Then, we try to handle this request, goes to the core gate engine, and in the payment service, tries to handle this operation. There is a special handle strategy which has two implementations, common handle strategy and terminal handle strategy. We will use a common handle strategy because the terminal handle strategy is used for special devices like terminals, boxes, etc. Next, go to the handle. In this method, you can see that by the name of the controller for the gate manager as a string, the system tries to find available controllers which are responsible for handling this operation and load the special class. Next, it tries to find the transaction by ID in the request. The gate manager tests this implementation and it can be overridden according to the type of callback. Let's look at this case. We have a next level of abstraction. We should take the server request handle strategy. In this server request handle strategy, the gate manager should extract an ID and there are several implementations. For our case, we will observe the Corefy gate manager. In the Corefy gate manager, it's a module gate controllers. You can see the special method to extract the ID from the request. Return back to our common handle strategy. Then, when we find the identifier, the system tries to load, find, and load this data from the database according to the transaction ID. Next, we have a transaction object, and we try to make some validations according to the controller and transaction type. Next step, we should process this transaction. At this step, the system delegates handling of this transaction to the appropriate gate manager. Our gate manager, Corefy Gate Manager, implements the interface service request handle strategy, and in this interface the onStatusChange method should be implemented. Next step, go to the Corefy Gate Manager. In the Corefy Gate Manager, you can see the handle payment status change method. In this method, first of all, we try to check if the existing internal transaction has a terminal status processed. It means that we don't need to do anything with this operation out from this part of code. Next, according to the type of operation, let's look. This Corefy Gate Manager implements Serve Request Gate Manager, and this manager follows a special strategy. This Corefy Gate Manager provides handling for such operations for cards like verify, top up and redeem, its withdrawal operation. It's the method of handle payment status change. First of all, we should define what kind of operation. According to the case, for example, top up, the system should retrieve all data via private channels via API to the Corefy service. Under the hood, this Corefy service contains the implemented Corefy client. I'll show you. In the integrations, Corefy client, and all the methods to obtain all data according to the transaction ID. After this, the system should process this data according to the status of the transaction which we received from the provider. The system executes the next steps to process the internal transaction. And that's it. For example, if the system has an exception or some undefined case, the TX decline exception will be thrown in the top level of abstraction after delegating. We try to finalize all related objects to this operation. Then, on this common handle strategy, you can see, if the TX decline exception is thrown, the system catches this exception and marks the transaction and operation as a failure. And now, let's try to observe the execution of operation via Postman. I will execute the top-up operation. A special user was created for this. First of all, we should get the token of the user. Next step, we should obtain the list of accounts available for this user. There is only one account, Euro. And we will use the serial from this account. Next step, we should get the list of available providers with the services to top up this user's account. You can see that we have only one right now. After the previous steps, the commissions for this Corefy provider were set up. Next step, I want to top up the amount. We have amount 320. And I want to top up to 150 euros. I should calculate the commission. Okay, commission will be 2.5. This commission is fixed as the commission which we set up in the contract. The contract commission is 2.5% and vendor commission, which is included in 2.5%, is 1.5%. Next, after calculation, we should create the operation and assign the provider to this transaction. Okay, the status of transaction, provider assigned. Next step, we should obtain the list of pair fields which are required and should be filled by the user before initiating the operation on the gate provider side. Next step is to submit this transaction. User fills this data and we send this data to provider and initiate the transaction on the provider side. Provider in the response returns the redirect URL. Let's open this URL on our side. You can see a special form for card data. I will use the test data provided by the provider. Okay. This option is with 3DS. That's why we should type the special code and submit. We see the payment proceeded successfully. Okay. And now we can check the status of this operation. It's processed. I will use a special tool, ngrok, to handle the responses, the callbacks from the third-party provider to the local machine. Okay. Let's check the amount. The previous amount was 320 and now this amount is increased to 470. As for the user interface, we also can execute this operation via UI. We have a user with only one EUR account, and I want to top up this account. First of all, I choose the account. Next, we have an option to tokenize this operation. It means that the card which we will use for this operation should be stored on the Corefy side, and Corefy returns the special token for this card. Input amount 35. Next, we will calculate the commissions, and on this page, you can see the list of pair fields which should be filled by the user. I will use the data from here. That's great. The system directs us to the form to input the card data. And we can see that the operation is processed. In the current implementation, I need to return manually to the user account because I use the settings of our environment but on my local machine to handle the callbacks. And you can see that this operation is finished successfully. The account was topped up, and you can see the details of this operation.